I have one of the best jobs in the world because I get to work with people who are fun, funny, energetic, creative, and insightful. And they happen to be 14 to 18 years of age. I really do think kids keep a person young. And I think that probably why when I am in the presence of adults, I sometimes don't know how to act, so you will forgive me. So, inspiring the students for the future. What really works? 37 years of teaching experience have taught me that two things are needed: research based teaching techniques and relationship. Relationship is huge, but we'll talk more about that later. But I would like to look first at the techniques. I think probably most of us remember the teacher-centered classroom. That's probably what we're familiar with from our youth. You remember the teacher was up front on the center. The students were in nice, neat rows, not allowed to talk to each other. And the teacher, the source of authority, downloaded information to the kids to regurgitate back up on the test, designed to measure how much content they could remember. Now I have to admit, I love lecturing, but my students don't always love it. It does not always inspire. So I was thinking, what really inspires? Years ago, I was doing lunch duty at school, standing in the lunchroom, being invisible, watching kids go through the cafeteria line. And I was watching the kids going to it occurred to me they love having choices, and so I said to myself, self, maybe that would work in the classroom. Let the kids have choices. And so that's what I did. I converted my classroom to a situation where student choice was a big part of the room, along with four other C's: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. Actually, over 10 years ago, the National Education Association identified those last four C's on the list as the essential 21st century skills that kids should learn, and I agree wholeheartedly. I've added choice to the top of the list, not as a skill for kids to learn, but rather as a characteristic of the classroom. By choice, I mean a situation where many learning activities are available to students, designed to meet the many diverse learning styles that they have. And the kids love it much as they love choices in the cafeteria. Now, I think we're made for learning this way. Imagine our early hominid ancestors out looking for food. Don't you know? The finding and tracking that holy mammoth required critical thinking and problem solving. I definitely required collaboration, teamwork. I mean, you won't know what to do this by yourself. No way. And collaboration required communication. And then I imagine those people sitting around with the campfire at night, reliving the adventures of the day's hunt. They must have had smiles on their faces when they were retelling the story of the hunt, and I know they smiled when they put the cave painting up on the wall, because creativity is a uniquely human, pleasurable, satisfying activity. So I believe our brains are wired for the five C's. And since they're wired for the five C's, and automatic learning will happen when kids are allowed to engage in the five C's and not just learning. But I think kids will enjoy a classroom setup like this and even be inspired in this way. Now, this requires a classroom setup based on five C's requires a shift from a teacher-centered class to a student-centered classroom. And this requires a teacher to remove him or herself from front and center, becoming more of the guide in the side rather than a sage on the stage. But this opens up opportunities to not merely teach, but to coach, to mentor, to nurture, and inspire. And that's why I love so much.